Hey friends, welcome to my channel Ascending Thoughts. Hope you all are doing well. So this week, Namit Malhotra's Ramayana teaser dropped and it stars Ranbir Kapoor, Sai Pallavi, Yash and Ravi Dubey as Rama, Sita, Ravana and Lakshmana. And being a Hindu epic enthusiast, I thought I'll give you my opinions on the teaser, the pros and the cons, as well as address the online backlash and even the hate campaign against the movie and give my opinion on the internet talking points as well. So here it goes. The first point is about the poor VFX. This is easily the most common criticism online that I have seen, and honestly I feel the same. The very first, the snowy background battle shot instantly gave me the Adi Purush type flashback slash trauma, which is not a good sign for a project of this scale. Many viewers pointed out that the visuals looked artificial, flat or even unfinished, with some calling it AI generated quality. A few harsh reactions even labeled it a 40,000 crore rupees scam, highlighting the gap between the claimed budget and what was shown in the teaser. That is said, it is very important to stay fair. This is just a teaser, not even a full trailer. There is reportedly several months, at least 6 months of post-production work left, and if the team actually listens to the constructive criticism and not to the trolls, there is still enough time to refine the VFX. Right now though, parts of it undeniably feel unpolished and amateur for a film aiming at global standards. Now the second point is the overinflated budget concerns, and this is my opinion. I feel the budget might be intentionally exaggerated by Namit Malhotra for hype. My guess is the real cost could be significantly lower, maybe around 800 to 1000 crore, but the bigger issue is the perception such exaggeration cost. Once you position a film as one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive Indian film of all time, the expectation that you set for the audience will automatically skyrocket. And the Ramayana film team even claim that it will be Hollywood level, like comparisons to Avengers, and Lord of the Rings were made during promotion. So all this caused overhyping and also led to people's expectations going to unfair levels. This is where the teaser has struggled. Audience expected something comparable to large-scale global production, but what we saw didn't fully match that promise. So even if the film eventually delivers, the budget versus output criticism is a direct result of overhyping the numbers early on, and that has backfired for the producer Namit Malhotra. The third point, the teaser launch in the US instead of India. There was a noticeable backlash about the teaser being launched in New York or LA before India, with many asking why this Indian epic wasn't shown first to Indian audiences. But honestly, this criticism feels a bit misplaced. The Indian audience doesn't need an introduction to Ramayana. It is already deeply rooted in our culture. On the other hand, the global audiences are unfamiliar with the story and its significance, so launching it internationally actually makes a strategic sense to me. Also, the makers are clearly positioning this as a global, large-scale cinematic project, not just a domestic film. So in that context, an international launch aligns with their vision. This is one criticism that I don't agree with at all. The fourth talking point online is too much influence of Hollywood. This was a major concern that the film might be over westernized, or the feel of the film might be over westernized, with comparisons being drawn to films like Avatar and Lord of the Rings. While inspiration is not necessarily a bad thing, the issue arises when it clashes with our source material. For example, the troll-like creature shown at the beginning of the teaser doesn't really align with the descriptions from the Valmiki Ramayana or any Ramayana that we have read about. That breaks immersion and raises concerns about authenticity. This is another point that I agree. You can modernize visuals, but the basic aesthetic and character design should stay rooted in the original Indian text. Hopefully these elements were just added for the teaser impact and won't heavily feature in the final film. The next is casting skepticism, ongoing as well as previous, and for me, costume concerns also. The casting choices have been debated heavily, especially Ranbir Kapoor as Rama. This is where I feel genuinely torn. On one hand, Ranbir is a spectacular actor with a naturally calm demeanor that does suit the character. He has clearly put in the effort, worked on his physique, adapted his lifestyle even, and seems fully committed to the role. I appreciate that very much. However, there are a lot of concerns. In the epic, Rama is described by Valmiki as very dark skinned, whereas Ranbir is among the lightest skinned actors in Bollywood. Also, what felt slightly missing in the teaser was the quintessential serene smile of Rama, the sweet smile that he is famous for. Ranbir came across a bit too serious for me. That said, it is still just a teaser. Performances often evolve in the full film. So I can see both sides of the argument here. Coming to Sai Pallavi as Sita, I personally have reservations for this from the beginning. For me, she doesn't embody the ethereal beauty, the grace, that is the most important part, and presence that Sita is often described with. Someone who is graceful, radiant, and quietly energetic. I feel the makers could have considered a fresh face closer to that description. At the same time, it is important to acknowledge that Sai Pallavi is a brilliant actress with her own charm, and I have no doubt her performance will be strong. My concern is purely about the visual fit, not the acting ability. I also think there is a broader issue at play. Part of the audience still associated beauty with light skin, though that mindset is gradually changing in India. Her casting, I think, was done to bring in the southern audience while catering to the light skin appeal that is present in the Indian society, and also to cater to a wider audience in other parts of Asia that is also very skin color obsessed. In China and other most Asian countries, they also have this white skin or light skin obsession. So she was selected, I feel, because she has light skin. She is talented also, and she is southerner, so by that thought process they will rail in her audience to the movie. So I think this is a strategic choice. Interestingly, I have felt similar conflicts before, and I am in the minority when I say that Arun Govila's Rama in the 1987 Ramayana serial, I felt he was too old for the role, and this is strictly my personal opinion, but his performance turned out to be absolutely legendary and remains the gold standard even today as Rama. And as I grew older and I rewatched the serial on YouTube, the emotional depth he brought to Rama still moves me deeply. For me, Deepika Chikalia as Sita in the same serial, as well as Jayaprada in an old Telugu film played Sita. I think she was a teenager, probably 12 or 13 years old, maybe a little bit older. These two ladies, Deepika and Jayaprada, are unmatched as Sita, both in terms of grace as well as performance. The other issue that I always have had is the costume. Ranbir's look in terms of ornaments, hair and overall costume design in the teaser so far appears very well done and visually appealing. I'm pretty sure that the makers have modernized the female characters' clothing, which would break immersion and take the audience out of the story. As described in the Valmiki Ramayana, the women's attire, especially in that era, consisted traditionally of garments like Uttariya, upper cloth, Antariya, lower cloth, Kanjugam, chest cloth, and Kaubinam, loin cloth. At the very least, they could have tried to stay authentic to elements like Uttariya, Antariya, and Kanjugam. What feels inconsistent is that male characters are often shown in time-appropriate attire. Rama is often shown in the appropriate attire of that time in Uttariya and Antariya. Meanwhile, female characters weirdly are given modern stitched clothing with full sleeve or long sleeve or even half sleeve blouses, which doesn't align at all with the same level of historical accuracy. Costume design should aim for authenticity over appeasement of the orthodox elements of the society. There is no need to alter historically rooted attire just to satisfy overly sensitive or the orthodox sections, and doing so risk compromising the integrity and realism of the narrative, and this is my opinion. If you are putting women in full sleeve blouse, skirt, and in outright sari, there was no sari as we know at that time. If you're doing that, then put Rama also in kurta pajama. Why bother with his costume? So, the costume should be consistent, right? The look should be consistent. Even the old serial made, I think many parts were made with Sita wearing kanjugam and then a veil on top of her, like that they could do. This is 2026, by the way, and people have matured a lot. But even then I read that there were some intellectually questionable people saying that there was no way that Sita would have worn cut blouse, that is sleeveless blouse. Like there was no blouse at all in the ancient time. They wore chest cloth. It's just ridiculous. Meanwhile, Mahabharata serial exactly portrayed it, and they were really good with the costume, and that people could accept. I know this is done by a very ignorant section of orthodox, because I at least feel the audience have matured, but I can be wrong as well. The next point is external factors, that is fan wars and narrative amplification against the movie. Backlash may not be entirely organic. Many people believe that fan rivalries, paid PR campaigns allegedly involving Prabhas and Mahesh Babu fan groups / PR agencies is also contributing to the negativity, particularly due to the constant comparisons with the abysmally bad Adipurush and due to the future release of the film Varanasi, which has themes of Ramayana. This is true. I have seen it, these fan clubs, unnecessary comparisons and, vilifying other actors. This needs to end. I like to think that these are bots. Then there is also the agenda driven or anti-Hindu accounts from neighboring nations, amplifying this criticism to shape a negative narrative around the film or any content based on Hinduism and its epics. This attack happens whenever a national level discussion on a topic is going on in India, and I've seen it with my own eyes. So-called Indian accounts turned out to be based in Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, even countries in Middle East, and even in US. Bots were found attacking Indian content and Indians. There are definitely valid criticism, especially around VFX quality, potential overhyping of the budget, which I believe happened, certain casting choices, especially Sai Pallavi, concerns about authenticity in costume and design. At the same time, I also see strong positives. The scale, the ambition, the heart, the intent to present this story on a global platform is genuinely exciting. The cast, including Ranbir Kapoor and Yash, are highly capable performers who could still deliver wonderful portrayals. Oh yeah, Yash, I completely forgot Yash. At least from the back, he looks amazing as Ravana. So yeah, that part I'm very much looking forward to. Especially, Yash has a knack for playing anti-heroes or a guy with negative shades. I truly hope that he will live up to the hype. Visually, despite the flaws, there are glimpses of grandness and potential. With several months of post-production still left, there is a real opportunity for makers to listen to feedback, refine the visuals, and stay true to the source material. Overall, if the team takes the feedback seriously, this could still turn into something truly special and worthy of legacy it represents. So, what matters more to you? Can this film do justice to Valmiki Ramayana, or is it even based on Valmiki Ramayana? That is another question that I have in my mind, and I truly hope it is. Are the criticisms against this movie fair? Are people judging this teaser too early? Let me know in the comment section. Like, subscribe, and share this video. I wish you all a wonderful weekend. Take care and bye.